Sis Tell. Sis Tell. A whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing. Sis Tell. Amanda to stand up and Alison's on TV. When they hop on the phone, yeah, you know it's the place you wanna be. Sis Tell.
Hey, Allie.
Hey, man. How are you?
Something weird is happening. At least I think it's weird.
Okay. If you think it's weird, it must be way bizarre.
Well, you don't have a daughter, and so, but I don't know what's happening, but all of Ruby's friends follow me on TikTok.
Okay.
And they're like obsessed with me.
So by weird, you mean something fabulous has happened because all of these tweens are loving you. Yeah.
No, and I'm pretty sure it's a joke. Because every time she's got this like huge gaggle of girls, they all hang out after school. And if I happen to drive by, which happens a lot because I'll pick up Murray and she'll be walking somewhere and he'll roll down the window to taunt her. And then they're all like 20 of them. They're like, "Hey, Miss Amanda." And it's like this huge, and Ruby's not embarrassed.
Right.
Like most 12-year-old girls would be embarrassed by their mom. But
and maybe it gives her street cred. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't understand. I really don't understand what's happening. Yeah. And I can only say it's like a giant inside joke between all of them to like me.
So either they are obsessed with you or you are the butt of their jokes. Maybe you've just turned into mommy.
I have to say, I'm okay with either. Right?
As long as they're talking about me, I don't care.
Right? It's like bad pub. There was that saying like
there is no such thing as bad PR.
Right.
Which actually is not true.
Speaking of which, there was an incident, okay, which you know about, but I was putting together a newsletter for Sis Tell, and I was like, maybe I'll go to our Apple podcast and do a screen grab of one of the reviews and include that imagery. So I have to pull up. I'm going to just read this verbatim. This review we had, and we tend to get all of our reviews are stellar, and we don't really ask for people to review us. They just do it, and they're all very
right.
Nice.
We go by the theory. So during our podcast, it's all about us, but then reviews, it's enough about us. Tell us what you think about us.
Right. So this one, it's from December 18th, 2021. The title reads,
I've read the review, so I know what's coming.
The title reads, "Podcast is a bad as they're driving." And it's from Broke But Hopeful spelled with 2 L's. And then it says, "If you're going to drive like an idiot, maybe take the sticker off the back of your Honda Odyssey."
Which, for those of you who don't know, Amanda has a ginormous Sis Tell magnet on the back of her Honda. She also made one for me for the back of my car, but my car is not magnetically surfaced, if that makes sense. So mine is actually weird. On our, it is weird. Neither is our refrigerator, so everything's taped there. But the only magnetic surface in my house is the dishwasher. So our dishwasher is proudly branded with the Sis Tell giant magnet. But yeah, if you drive anywhere, and we've talked about this because, lots of theories behind who knows if it's your car or not. So it kind of worked against us because they didn't want to review the podcast. They wanted to use the podcast to review your driving.
Yeah. Or I'm saying, so you're saying you listen to the podcast. I actually don't think he listened to the podcast.
There's no way. Yeah.
And I'm assuming this is a dude, by the way.
Right.
And I from a I started analyzing everything.
Okay.
So first of all, I was not it doesn't really affect us that much. Like we went from 5 stars to 4.9 stars. Like we're good. And it's not like we're Yelp.
Well, when you say it didn't affect us so much, though, what about emotionally? Did it affect you
No.
emotionally?
No, because I was like, this is awesome. It'll be funny to talk about. Like, I like having, like, when stuff like this happens, like, I truly make lemonade out of lemons, you know?
But what about me emotionally? Because I'm getting, sort of folded into your bad driving scenario by association. I had
Yeah.
nothing to do with this.
And guess what? I may have had nothing to do with this because I went and look, I'm like psychoanalyzing this person. They probably were so mad about whatever happened that they went immediately to Apple Podcasts to review me. Probably they either pulled over in their car or they did it at a red light.
And let's be clear. 95% of Atlanta drivers are pretty angry 95% of the time. So the fact that this didn't happen sooner is actually what is shocking.
Yes, that's why I said it was bound to happen. And I'm not saying I am a perfect driver. Like everyone makes mistakes. Everyone does stuff where they're the idiot driving. I'm sure I've done something bad, and I try my best. Look, my driving record will show, Your Honor, that that I've never gotten a ticket. I've only gotten pulled over for like a headlight being out. I've never gotten into an accident. Okay.
Don't jinx yourself. You better
I know you're
poo-poo
right.
that.
I know, but it's Atlanta, so I'm bound to like get into an accident now. But I did look at the date, right? Because I'm like, if this person waited the next day to write this review, they would have cooled off and been like, I'm not even going to waste my time. But I looked at the day and it was a Saturday, which meant I did not necessarily have my car all day because it was the weekend. And it's the better of the two minivans to drive. So I looked what we did that day, and Aaron had the car most of the day. So it could have, I mean, I did drive it for a little bit, but it also could have been Aaron's driving because we were going somewhere at night and we were unfamiliar with the area. And I remember him driving not the best, we'll just say.
So you're now,
because of that,
Broke But Hopeful has thrown you under the bus, and you have in turn thrown your husband under the bus.
I sure have. It could have been me. It could have been me driving to the bar mitzvah earlier that day, and I cut someone off on the highway. It could have been that too.
Well, with that said, is there anything, in case Broke But Hopeful is listening?
Yes.
I say full because there's two L's. Is there anything you'd like to say to Broke But Hopeful?
Yes. I would say Broke But Hopeful. Please email us at
No.
sisters@sisandtell.com.
I meant in the form of an apology.
An extra magnet, and we can send it to you as an apology. Right now it's on my refrigerator, but I'll be happy to send it to you. I would just say, yeah, someone driving that car was probably an idiot. You're right.
Yeah.
And I hope we didn't cause you to get into an accident.
There you go. I feel the best part of this
Alison.
is...
Oh, man.
What?
Hey, moral compass. Jeez.
Well, look, show a little grace. Everybody's a little stressed, especially the Atlanta drivers, for good reason. It's the worst place to drive in the world. And I think, look, the irony is Broke But Hopeful. If you were listening to the podcast, it might have eased your stress, just like our super fan Susan, who drives her grandkids, or used to before they got really old. Sorry, Susan. But and still drives in Atlanta traffic and uses us as a way to really kind of like find some mindfulness and some laughter when she's feeling stressed. So be like Susan, Broke But Hopeful. Oh, I was going to say the funny ripple effect of this is on the Facebook page. People were like, send me one of the bumper stickers. Send me the magnet.
Yeah.
I'll drive around with it. I feel like we could turn this into the last scene of that movie, Thomas Crown Affair. Have you ever watched that movie?
I don't think I have.
Okay, so that's a tragedy.
It's a knockoff James Bond, right? The guy from had a TV show which was like a knockoff James
Remington
Bond.
Steele.
Yes,
what's his TV show?
Yeah, what's his name?
Gosh. Pierce Brosnan. Oh my gosh, you're killing me. Yes, Renee Russo. Her wardrobe is Michael Kors, I think, throughout the thing, and it's fantastic. She's gorgeous. All of that to say, at the end, a little spoiler alert, but he's trying to evade the cops in this museum, and he walks in with a briefcase and a boiler hat and starts to walk around, and all of a sudden they're like, there he is, catch him. And then all of a sudden, like 1 million people show up in the same outfit. And he's like, wait, is that him? Is that him? And so nobody can figure out which one is actually him. So I think we pull a Thomas Crown Affair and we just get minivans and cars all over the city with the bumper sticker / magnet. And then nobody will ever know if it's actually you
Yeah.
or just super fans.
And broke but hopeful might see it and be like, oh my God, it was just a fan. What have I
Right.
done?
Right.
What have I done? And the answer is nothing. You've done nothing. Don't worry about it, broke but hopeful. I understand. I look, I get it. I get it.
Right. And I give broke but hopeful at least a little credit because they're obviously broke but hopeful.
I'm hopeful they actually listen to the podcast. But
I'm not that hopeful.
I'm just glad they did not look. Road rage incidents can go from 0 to 60 very
100%.
quickly.
Yeah.
And the fact that this person just like gave us a bad podcast review, like, thanks for not like turning it violent.
I'll tell you that. So I have sort of like the opposite of road rage. When I feel people, my biggest pet peeve is when people are tailing me and so close that they don't know if I need to stop suddenly. They're rear-ending me, and it makes me very nervous. So the other day, I'm driving to a meeting at one of our local like breakfast places, and it's literally, this place is a mile and a half from my house. There's, it takes me 5 minutes to get there. As I'm coming down this hill, there's this car, and it is on my tail immediately. So what do? I just gently brake to like kind of say, hey, back up, like you never know. And they don't take the hint. I brake again. Then I get to the stoplight, and I'm really braking and really in advance to really slow the person down. I'm looking out for both of our interests.
Right.
Well, they're not. Yeah, they don't really see it that way because then they're just really on my tail. And when I turn to go into the restaurant, they turn too. So now I park at the restaurant. They park too.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, oh no, are they doing this just to get
Intimidate
me or?
you.
No, it's a small town, and we were both going to the same restaurant. And the guy, it's a man, he gets out of his car and he said something, which I don't catch because he's pretty far away. So he could have been talking to himself, or I don't know what he said.
Right.
But then I decide, let's go the opposite. So I wait for him, and I hold the door open, and I let him into the restaurant. And then I walked back to the back of the restaurant to the people I was meeting, and I said, I can't get coffee right now because it's a little awkward at the counter. So I'm going to wait till Road Rage guy gets his stuff and sits down. Then I'll be back, which is what I did. So I never had a real interface with him, but you don't know how that's going to turn out. And I was not even the rager. I was the one trying to pacify the situation. And guess what?
It was more passive aggressive. Sure. Pacify.
Right. It was passive aggressify. Either way, I was trying to de-escalate the situation, which, best laid plans just created more rage. So
and then anxiety. Yeah.
I think someone said since COVID, road rage has become like increased by whatever percentage. I think people are they're anxious. They didn't drive for a long time. They've been isolated. They've been quarantined. Now they're on the roads. They're like, I just got to get somewhere, right? Anywhere that's not here.
And their anxiety levels are already up. Sometimes I thought it'd be funny to record like me talking to the cars because I can get like mean, not that they can hear me, but sometimes I'm just like, sir, that is not a good decision. Nuh-uh, ma'am, why are you doing this? Hey, Mr. Carr, why you it's like I'm running a kindergarten classroom or something the way I talk to these cars. And then it is like I am talking to a bunch of truck drivers the other time.
All right, I'm switching gears a little bit because I had a call with Bubba this morning.
Okay, I think we need to explain who Bubba is because some people might be new to the podcast and they may think Bubba is our car mechanic or something.
He is not only my car mechanic and at the local bakery, he's also our brother. We call Stuart our brother Jiminy Cricket or Bubba, which has been his nickname for a long time. Uncle Bubba, whatever you want to call him. So Stuart / Bubba / Uncle Bubba wrote into our family group text last night that he purchased his very first NFT, and then he posted a picture of it as some like very colorful robot
awkward
thing.
I thought it was like awkward astronaut or something.
Yeah, it's something like that. It kind of looked like Rosie from the Jetsons, maybe like stepbrother. It looked it was a colorful little painting, which made me say, NFT. What the heck is this NFT stuff? And I know it enough to understand the acronym, which is non-fungible token.
Mm-hmm.
Only because this came up in a board meeting that I was in person a few months ago, and this young whippersnapper entrepreneur starts talking about how we should start investing in NFTs, and I finally had to say, I have literally no idea what you're talking about. And then he said, of course, non-fungible tokens, to which I said, I still don't know what you're talking about. But all of this to say that I know this is a whole new world or a whole new metaverse of, do you understand this? Let's start there.
I have to say that this NFTs have been explained to me no less than 20 times, and I'm still like, huh? And then I start to glaze over.
Yeah.
It's basically like a digital artwork or some sort of digital creation, and you can buy it.
Yeah.
And it lives in the world digitally. So if we're
Yeah.
talking about the future Facebook metaverse or whatever's going to happen, I keep on thinking of that movie Ready Player One. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
Yeah.
But it's like you own artwork, but the artwork only exists in digital life.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was a really good summation. And I think Stuart gave a great further explanation of what it is. So listen to what he said. Hey, Ba, how are you?
Hey, Allie. Good to hear from you.
Well, good to hear and see you. And Amanda and I have reached a point of our conversation where we're very confused, and we knew there was only one person who could illuminate us, and that's you.
Okay, I'm here for you.
All right, let's start with the acronym NFT. And this all started, of course, because you texted the family group last night saying that you got your first NFT. And luckily, I do know what it stands for, but that's the extent of my knowledge. So what is it?
Sure. It confuses a lot of people. So NFT stands for non-fungible token. And non-fungible more or less means that it's unique and can't be replaced with something else. For example, you've heard a lot about Bitcoin, or even the dollar bill is fungible. You can trade one for another Bitcoin or another dollar bill, and you'll have exactly the same thing. So a one-of-a-kind trading card, however, is non-fungible. If you traded it for a different card, like a baseball card, you'd have something completely different. So NFTs can really be anything digital, such as drawings, music, your brain downloaded and turned into an AI, artificial intelligence. But a lot of the current excitement is around the tech to sell digital art. And that's what I bought. I bought actually I won it in a sweepstakes, an NFT from one of the big NFT networks out there. So that's what an NFT is. Does that help?
It does. Wait, a sweepstakes, sort of like the call-in radio sweepstakes that we used to try to win when we were kids?
Similar, but online, digital. Felt the same. Yeah, there were a decent amount of winners.
But what do you do with your NFT? So you've got it, and now is it hanging in your virtual living room? Is it like I've seen, some people actually have a physical version of their NFT. Like I think some can actually print it out and hang it. And then I don't know if that turns it from an NFT to an FT. So
most people, so there's a new acronym called HODL. Have you heard of that?
Oh no, there's too many.
Another acronym. Yeah. Hold on for dear life. And that's what most people are doing with their cryptocurrency and with their NFTs. And they're just hoping they're going to go up in value. So most people just keep them in their digital wallet or on the platform they bought them from. And they're just kind of waiting to see if they go up in value. So my NFT, for example, technically when it was released, the original listing price was $1, and I have had 62 offers, and now it's up to $1,300. The offers for it, yeah.
Somebody is offering you, and I wish we were a visual medium, but it's like a robot painting, right? Is that? It's
a robot painting. Yeah, it's called Awkward Astronaut. And it's by an artist named Lambo, Lambo. Maybe I'm going to get a Lamborghini for buying it. But so it's in they print the edition. It's edition 10,214, and I'm number 3245 of 10,000 of that number. So but it's taking off. I mean, Christie's auction house sold the first ever NFT artwork, a collage of images by, I think the artist was named, digital artist was named Beeple. You got to look it up, but they sold it for $69.3 million.
Come on.
Yep.
So is there a tipping point where you feel like you'll sell? And if you sell it to someone, do you really get the $1,300, or is that also like in non-fungible cash?
Typically,
where does that go?
Typically, and not to get too technical, but NFTs are currently kind of live in the Ethereum blockchain, which is a cryptocurrency. So
are we in the Matrix? Just tell me if we are in the Matrix. I want to know now.
Typically, right, we are in the Matrix. We're in the metaverse now. So whatever we do is not governed by U.S. law. But yes, so you typically have to buy it with cryptocurrency, and then you're exchanging it. You're usually exchanging it for cryptocurrency. But more and more, the banking system is embracing some of these, I guess, alternative currencies and allowing you to purchase with your credit card. So it's changing very rapidly.
All right. Well, the good news is you have been very clear about what NFTs are, and I am even more confused as ever.
Sorry.
How to purchase and how they exist and how you redeem them and how they make value or retain value or increase in value. It is a whole new world.
I'm sorry if I caused more confusion. I was here to help my sisters.
Last question.
But I failed.
If I want to invest in an NFT,
yes.
Do I have to first have Bitcoin or some sort of cryptocurrency? How do I start the process?
You would typically have to, I'm using the word typically, like you have to have purchased Ethereum. Or an altcoin of some kind, but Ethereum is the most common for NFT. And you can carry that digital wallet to all the different platforms. There's different platforms that sell the digital art. So you can bring your wallet with you and you can buy it on a platform.
Okay.
And then the idea is whatever art you buy, and let's say you're in a video game universe, not to go deep down the rabbit hole here, but let's say you're in a metaverse or a video game, you could bring your art into the game. So people are building communities in the metaverse now, and they're buying real estate. They're buying boats. They're buying houses for millions. So you can live next to Snoop Dogg in the metaverse.
In the metaverse.
Yes. You might have to pay $1.2 million worth of Ethereum, but I'd love to have Snoop Dogg as a neighbor, or Martha Stewart for that matter.
For sure. I think they would probably be on either side of you. It'd get a little smoky. All right. Well, as far as NFTs go, I think there's NFW. I will ever be purchasing them, at least not in the near.
I will be your Sherpa if you ever do, even though I know, probably 10% of what I should know.
Yeah. I'm just now learning Venmo, so I think it's going to be a while before I get to Ethereum. But
I
appreciate the tutoring session. You're the best.
Anytime.
Right.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
So, yeah, that's
a lot.
That's
oh my gosh. But you know what? This sounds like something that I would become obsessed with if it weren't for the expense. But I would love to live next door to a celebrity and have access to them digitally.
So I think we should figure out if Courtney Cox is living in the metaverse, and maybe we could go, become neighbors with her, and that's how she'll finally talk to us.
Oh, by the way, I don't think anyone in that celebrityhood generation is doing this. They're not going to the metaverse.
They might be. How do we know?
Well,
we're not even in the metaverse.
They might buy a vacation home in the metaverse, but I don't think they're going to it. I think they're buying it as like an investment, but they're not spending time there. They've got like real life things going on. They don't need to go hang in the metaverse with Amanda Goldstein Marks. They're not going to.
I know. Well, I didn't say that's why they're doing it, but they could be doing it. It's all very confusing. And here's the fascinating thing. So afterwards, Stuart was telling me that, this idea of Ethereum, even though this is new to me, this has been talked about for a long time. And no surprise, he said, the people who will benefit most from the NFT, the Bitcoin, all of this currency are going to be the people who are the first adopters, right? The first people, the pioneers in this world. And that's trending that's the trend no matter what we're talking about. That to say, he said he went back to some of his emails and he found an email from one of his directors at a former job from 2016 or 17 saying, hey guys, you have to start investing in this thing called Ethereum. And it's about $47 a share. And Stuart said, but I was like, what is it? And back then you're like, $47? I'm not buying that for $47. Well, today a share of Ethereum is around $3,000. So to give you a sense of how that has escalated and will continue to escalate, it's just, I mean, who knows? Like, you hear about some of this stuff and it's like anything. It could either land and be successful or it could be a total bust and nobody's heard of it. It could either be the Ferrari of the digital world or the Edsel, right?
So Stuart has been predicting this stuff for a long time, I feel like, and we need to just listen to him. He said when he first graduated from graduate school, which was, gosh, how long ago? What was that, like 1999 or 2000?
No, not 1999. I graduated in 93, so he must have been 95.
No, from graduate school.
Yeah, I graduated grad school in 93, so he's 95.
Oh. So, but he was talking about like a couple years after that, he was talking about how we'd be watching TV on computers.
Yeah.
And this was before, I mean, we had laptops, right? But this was before we had smartphones. And this was before iPads and all of that stuff and any sort of like handheld TV watching device.
That's why we call him Nostra Bubba. He knows everything.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Like, I do my own version of like early adopter-ness, and that's not even a word, but like I try and more of it's like there's a new social network that launches. I try and get like an account, right? Because the sooner you're on something, the more popular you can be, right? It's easier to gather all of the followers and stuff.
Right.
So when the early stages of YouTube, I had an account. And I posted a video of Murray when he was a baby, and he was singing, or the song Manamana was on. And you know the Muppet song, Manamana?
Do I know it? Of course.
Of course. Manamana. So I had been doing this thing, and I had really crappy video footage, but where I was moving his mouth along, like I
remember this. I totally remember this. Yeah.
So I posted that video, and when I say I didn't go back to that page for 3 years, I had not gone back to that page. And then I did to post, and I was like, maybe I should start uploading some more videos on here of just the kids. And he had gotten 70,000 views on that video.
Come on.
And I had not paid attention to it. So I didn't know until years later. So I couldn't really do anything with it because it had passed, right? Everyone had looked at it. It went viral. And I mean, I know it's not a million. It's not a Charlie bit my finger thing, which, by the way, they have turned into an NFT. So NFTs are
right. Somebody owns that. That was one of the first times. That's true. That's probably one of the first times I did hear about NFT when I really think about it. That somebody owns that digital file, the original, right? But does he now get royalties, or she get royalties off of every time it plays in cyberspace or on YouTube? If
people are not paying to replay it, then they probably have to take it down. I mean, think of it as like movie footage or a song that you're playing without licensing it. Like you're doing it illegally. And, but that person would have to have like a legal team in place to have it like a cease and desist and to take it down. Right. If like if the Today Show or Good Morning America wanted to show that footage, they would have to get permission and or pay for it to be able to use it.
Well, I was about to insert the Charlie bit my finger audio into this podcast, but now you've scared me to death because I feel like I'll get sued.
Charlie bit my finger. There. I can do it. Well, it's just like...
now it's become a fungible token. So there. We just funged it.
Right? So apparently also like you can't play sing Happy Birthday at all those restaurants because Paul McCartney owns the rights to the Happy Birthday song.
Come on.
You've never heard that?
No.
That's why they make up all those dumb songs at restaurants.
Oh, I just thought they were trying to be creative.
All right. So thanks for listening to the latest episode of Sis Tell podcast. Share us with your friends. Share us with your family. Share us with, what's his name? Better be hopeful.
Broke but hopeful.
Share us with Broke but Hopeful. If you know him, tell him we love him and I am so sorry.
As always, this has been Amanda and Alison with a whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing. We'll catch you next time.